Hi, welcome everybody to the Wine Ambassador Saturday afternoon training. Got to know that we got more treats for everybody, but this is a good special day too. Every Saturday we get on here and one of our MSIs, our Master System Instructors, or one of the other trainers who are not quite MSIs but on the way to be MSIs are doing some kind of sharing of the love that they have for this business and this product that's coming out from Wine Ambassador. Most of you know this person. For those of you that don't, hopefully you will, and you'll find out what a passion she has for what we do and for this whole company, for the system, for Rory and Tanya, and every single one of you, because she doesn't just care about the people that she brought in. She cares about everybody in this family, in this system that Rory and Tanya have built. She protects the house and uses that phrase, and if you don't know what that means, you will soon. She is one of our master system instructors, and she is our top admin that helps run so many things behind the scene. It's incredible. When I got to know her, 3 years ago, she was just a plethora of knowledge and helpful to help me with the admin side of things, to learn and grow and to give me the ability to help even more people. She's a dear friend of mine as well, and that is our Master System Instructor, Miss Linda Horn. Thank you for getting on here and sharing what you're going to share today, and everything else is going to happen afterward. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
Blessed.
Thank you, Niall. Thank you very much. So today, I look at all the past trainings that we've had, and I thought, well, let's drop a little history today. Wine is huge. Wine in many ways, and what I love about this club is it's a discovery club. I'm learning something new all the time. I still have a lot to learn, but by sitting down with the people that actually put this program together, with Tanya, with Rory, with Peter, even with Niall, I mean, just the knowledge that we're learning on the Wednesday wine and dine calls. And now we get an extra having Tanya with us. After I'm completed with mine, we're going to go to her. But there's just so much to learn, and the passion here is huge. I love my wine too. I've been a lover of wine for a long time, but not good wine. I always enjoyed a glass of wine, but I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the mass produced. I didn't know why I got a headache. I didn't know why I got ill. And that's from that proverbial punch wine that Rory calls it. But if you look at things, and I'm going to take you through the history of why it evolved and why it came around, and we'll just see if, and hopefully it gives you a little bit of knowledge so that you can go out and share this, to know a little bit more background. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm not one of those that does the slideshows. I use my platform. That's what I prefer to do. That way, when I get this done, and it's not linked or anything yet, but I've got my writing here and I'm ready to advertise this, to just throw a little bit of knowledge out there of what I've gained. So my title is The Wonders of Wine. Wonders of Wine in a Bottle. Have you ever looked at the history of wine, the gem that's been around for thousands of years? Perhaps the biggest question is the name, or why is it aged? Maybe some do not know the history through the years of why wine became so relevant. However, many articles have been written about wine, and this is just a little tip here and there of some things that I learned from the articles that I read. So that is the major thing, as I had already said, with Wine Ambassador, is a discovery club. Learning about why these wines are so darn good, why they're delicious, why you don't get a headache, why they pair well with meals and things like that. And you can share. By knowing more about wine, it helps you to share it with others. So why is wine stored in oak? The reason for the oak barrels, it goes back many, many, many years ago. Used to be back in like the Egyptian, the Roman times, they would put store their wine in clay vases. They had the little handles on them. But over time, as we go through, you're going to understand why they switched. Okay. And let's see, when you hear about this, of course, it's been around for thousands of years, and that's a known fact. The Romans, for instance, when they were going on to whether they were going to conquer something, conquer an area or what have you, they always carried their weapons, they carried food, and they also carried their wine. The reason that they also had for having the wine was not just to have a party. It was about malnutrition. Wine has derivatives in it of the fruits, of the healthy things that your body needs to survive besides the water. So with that, over the time, they had to travel distance. They didn't have cars, buses, and trains and everything that we have. They had to walk. They walked miles and miles and miles. And in that, they started to, think about the difference, maybe something better than a clay pot, because clay is heavy. And you think about everything that they were transporting. The reason that they used clay is because it was airtight, but it was so heavy for them to carry. So over the distances, the troop felt that the clays were getting so heavy, and they wanted to figure out another way to be able to transport wines that would be less bulky and heavy for them to carry. So they thought about the palm, because some other countries had tried the palm, but it's not bendable, and it's surely not as airtight as what the clay was. So they knew the reason that they got to discovering and looking around is they were surrounded by trees. They were surrounded by oak trees, and the oak is a much softer wood, and it was easier to bend to make barrels. And also it was easier to put over the fires to season them, and the grain was waterproof. So with that, with all of the trees and everything around, they did discover how to make barrels and how to store wine in, and it was so much easier. They had little wagons and things that they had made or came up with. I can't tell you exactly the name of them, but the little 2-wheel wagons that had the handles on them, and they could carry the wines in those. So it just evolved. But what they had discovered also is by putting the oak in barrels, it gave a different quality to the wine, smoother, softer, and it had some different taste to it. Oak adds cinnamon, sense of cinnamon, cloves, allspice, vanilla. There's just many different things that oak made the wines better. So anyway, with that being said, that's how the oak barrels arrived. And then when it comes to the names, the titles and the names of wine, a true fine wine is usually named by the grape itself or the region grown. Around us, and with the wines that we have at Wine Ambassador, those are named for the grapes. But we also talk about the regions that they're in, which is Napa and Sonoma Valley, California. And that's the difference. A lot of times it's the difference between the old world and the new world. The old world wines were more around the regions. The new world wine, which is what we have, is it tends to be more relevant, and it's something that just doesn't, it doesn't get any better. The old world wines tended to be lighter bodied, lower in alcohol, and have a lighter acidity and more earthy flavors. The new worlds are fuller bodied, higher in alcohol, low acidity, and much riper on the palate. A lot stronger per se, brings out more flavors than what they used to. Let's see. Yeah, depending on where in the world the wine you have purchased was made, the practices of locating location will determine whether or not they are named for the wine for the grape variety or the region. Our wines, of course, are Napa and Sonoma Valley, which are they use the grapes, and that's the New World. Tips: Old World wines are usually named after the region they're grown in, while New World is usually the sole principle of the grape in the bottle. Aging. Why aging? Another wonder of wine and aging process is why it's done. Aging a wine means that a true fine wine is aged to perfection. We have at Wine Ambassador, we have specialists. We have winemakers that this is their craft and this is what they do. They test the wines throughout and they do not pull them until they feel that they're ready, or our tasters, which are Rory and Tanya and Peter and Adele, agree to whether that is ready to go into the bottles and be sent out to us. Let's see. Also, the aging excludes exclusive grape varietals, bringing out the true flavor, the quality for each and everyone to enjoy. Perhaps you decided to take a wine you have purchased and store it in a cool, dark place for a number of years, allowing the wine to improve as it sits in the bottle. It's not the same as being in the oak barrel. You can leave a vintage on the shelf if you choose to. But as far as the true aging, that is before it's put in the bottle. And let's see, the oak adds oxygen and tannins, the deep flavor of the wine stored in them. Oak barreling is most common with reds and Chardonnays. It gives it, and you've heard Rory say about the tobacco taste. That's all part of what that wood is that they're stored in as well, or the smoking or what have you of the treatment of the barrel. And let's see, did you know that grapes are incredibly impressionable and delicate fruit? Each decision the winemaker makes through the process, from how and where the grapes are grown and what occurs with them after they are juiced, impact how the wine tastes and smells at the end. And last but not least, it's the farmer. The farmer is the one that has the fields. Just like every other field, there's certain derivatives around the fields to make the fields more prosperous. Also, for the fruits and vegetables, as I said, good farming equals great wine. It's a stage where the grapes also first come into contact with the elements that can impact the wine's ultimate characteristics. Many insects are important to the health of the grapes, but most of all, bees. Have you ever noticed in your own garden, and my mother had went through this, when she had the bees killed, basically, or, sprayed the insecticides, not meaning to have the bees gone, but it was right around her garden. That year, her garden was awful. Nothing grew. So you need those bees to pollinate. I understand that they can be pesky, but that's why in a lot of the vineyards or areas around, you'll see herbs, you'll see grasses, you'll see flowers, and that brings the bees in to pollinate those grapevines as well. And after the grapes transition from the vineyard to the cellar, each decision of the winemaker makes has influence on the flavor due to how the winemaker chooses to press the grapes, whether the winemaker wishes to age the fermented juice in steel or oak, and how long the winemaker lets it sit in those vessels will give it its unique flavors and tastes and smells. Okay, so that's all I have. I hope that you did get some knowledge, but it's history. It's been around for thousands of years. So I just wanted to share that little bit of tidbit that I had with you. And I am now going to bring on our wonderful Miss Tanya Rickard, and she's going to do some pairings with wines. Take it away, Tanya, when you're ready.
Thanks, Linda. You guys, that was really informative. I hope you guys found that. It's very useful. I did, and it was a refresher course too for me because I've known about wine my whole life. So I've always had as a young child, we had tasting glasses that my grandparents would give a little. My father is 100% Italian, so they'd give a little bit of wine to us little ones so that we could develop a palate. And I didn't even know or understand what they were doing at that point, but that's what they were trying to do, was help develop our palates, right? So when you have that, like Linda touched on the taste of like oakiness and woods and like that earthy kind of taste, it's how our brain will compute that. And it's what we say going forward, right? So it's not that there's actually that in the wine, obviously. It's just that that's how our brain computes it. It's a knowledge base and a tasting base that we acquire the longer we've had wine. So, all right. So like I said earlier, if you guys if you missed it, from here until the end of the year, I'm going to be doing a recipe. There will be pages coming. I'll give you guys the page here very shortly, but I'm going to be doing recipes seasonally to help you guys come up with ideas for tastings in your own home and how to do pairings. Also, these are great ideas for you guys to do like a little video and put it up on your YouTube channel and link it back to, and then you can post the link on your PBS page for your YouTube, for the video, right? So you can go back and forth. There's all different kinds of things to do. But in 2 days is Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. So I love to see my little grandkids dressed up and be super excited. So I love that. So I made a pumpkin soup, and I don't make pumpkin soups like most people where they have pureed, which is nothing's wrong with that. It's great, but I do like a vegetable pumpkin soup. I really like vegetables. I love it in my food. So this could be vegan if you want it to be. I'll show you guys a little bowl here. We have some. I'm going to try to get the camera angle here. There we go. So you guys see that? So I actually use the pumpkin for the base is what I do. And then I add a bunch of vegetables to it. So you can use vegetable stock. I have chicken stock in here, but really it's all vegetable based. You could also add some chicken to it or whatever else you want to make it, you guys can taste it, whoever you want to taste it or add whatever. But the great thing about the pumpkin is because it's a pumpkin, I always add a little cinnamon and nutmeg to it. And so that's what we're tasting. So the reason I'm sharing all this with you is because as we do this tasting here, I want to let you know what's in it so that you guys know how I thought of the tasting or the tasting process. And I'm totally fine if you guys take this recipe and take the wines and share them and do exactly the same thing. My hope is that this might let you guys have an impromptu Halloween tasting, right? So that's my hope here. So as we're tasting these, and I've roped in Niall and Dina who are visiting me. They're going to be helping me. I've roped them in to help me to be taste testers. But okay, we're gonna move my camera around. I'm on my computer here, and Rory's gone, and he's got a little handy contraption to share. So let me move my charging cord out of the way. So let me show you guys some of our wines pairing selection here. So these are the wines we're going to be tasting today. I always go towards a Chardonnay when I'm tasting pumpkin pie and Chardonnay. They go fabulously together. I'm throwing in the Sauv Blanc, which is not one I would normally pair with it because it's a little sweeter, but we're going to try it. We're just going to do a tasting. And then I would always pull in a Pinot Noir. That's my go-to red for anything that's like this. I had some of the Zinfandel right here, so we're going to try some Zin too. So these are the pairings and the tastings that we're going to do. And just as I'm showing you guys, so here's the concoction here of the pumpkin soup. So truthfully, there's no thickening agent at all. It's just the thickening agent is the pumpkin. So if you have leftover cans of pumpkin that you want to use, this is where you do it. That's all you do. It's super easy. We're sauteed vegetables in a little you could do olive oil or butter. I prefer olive oil, a little seasoning. And then you're going to saute your root vegetables, right? A little bit longer. Like if there's potatoes in there, carrots, celery, onion, kind of saute those up. Then you're going to throw in your stock, a can of diced tomatoes, and then your pumpkin. Let that come. Add your seasonings as you go, and then add your softer vegetables like I have edamame in here, but it calls for butter beans, lima beans. It's one of my least favorite vegetables, so I substitute edamame. But you can use any kind of bean. A white Cantonelli bean would be great as well. Also, you can add corn to this, and corn tastes phenomenal in it. I was going to add some butternut squash to this, but I didn't have any. I thought I bought some, but I didn't. So truthfully, this is this kitchen sink into the pot here. So here we go, Dina. You ready? Mr. Eddie, can you come down and assist with some tasting? Which one do you want?
It's a big sacrifice to be the taster for Tanya Rickard, but I'm gonna do it.
Linda, if you were here, I'd be having you taste too. So we are going to start with the Chardonnay. That's how we're gonna taste it. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit into the glasses here. And this one is our More Than Muse label, which I absolutely love. My husband actually wrote all the poetry for all these different labels. In case you guys didn't know that, now you do. And as I tell my children, knowing is half the battle. You ready? Here's some soup. So what I want you guys, come on over into the frame, Mr. Eddie. What I want you guys to do is when you're tasting things, right? You're gonna smell your wine. You want to kind of smell it. Oh wow, that smells phenomenal. Now it's early here and I'm drinking wine. What's better than this? So you're gonna smell it. Take a sip of your wine. And then you're gonna have a bite, and then you're gonna sip it again, right? So a tasting bite. You can taste the nutmeg in there. Can you taste it?
Oh, yeah. Nutmeg and cinnamon.
Wow. So let me know what you guys, I can right away tell you what I
So I
taste.
don't know if I should be embarrassed to say I've never had pumpkin soup in my life.
It's all good.
That's delicious.
Thank you.
Very good.
You guys taste it?
Let me try that one more time.
What I'm noticing immediately is how smooth it mellows out that Chardonnay. So Chardonnay has a little bit more of a sharper taste to it, if you will, but the pumpkin smooths it out, makes it a very smooth finish. You guys taste that too?
Mhm. Love the nutmeg.
Yeah.
It's not as sharp.
Yeah,
I'm not I've never been a huge Chardonnay fan until this Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And it's the first was a little sharp, but not as sharp as other Chardonnays.
Yeah.
After that, it just
Super
took all the
smooth, you
sharpness
guys.
right off of it.
and here's what I say, is a lot of people say they do not like certain varietals. This is my least favorite varietal, if I'm being honest, but I really do like it paired with the right food, right? So it's all about knowledge base and trying new things. So that's what this is all about too. I want you guys to try new things. This soup Niall's never tried, so this is a great example, right?
Mhm.
So we have to, sadly, I think we're gonna have to dump because we want to keep trying.
No.
Now I'll save some for the,
Mhm.
actually I have a whole pot, don't say it. Go ahead, eat up, honey. You guys, I still cannot not cook for 7 children. So I'm still used to cooking for 7 kids. So anyway, it really makes it smooth. I can taste more of the grape too. It's more, it actually sweetens it up a tad, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
So
so good, so good.
I tasted the tomato came alive, the carrot came more alive, the Chardonnay had the sharpness taken off of it.
yeah, the cinnamon and the nutmeg really enhances. So also a great thing to serve this with that I didn't have is that if you would have a little cream fresh on top of here would be wonderful. Not sour cream, cream fresh, just a little bit of cream fresh.
So my compliments to the chef and the winemaker.
Perfect. Wait, don't go anywhere. We have 3 more wines to taste, my
Oh,
friend.
goodness gracious. I better not finish that glass then.
All right, sadly, we're gonna dump. When Rory and I taste wine, we have to dump. There's no way that we can,
Oh.
we can taste all the wines and not leave not leave well. All right, the next one we're gonna be tasting is the Sauv Blanc, which normally I wouldn't pair. This is our Discoveries label. You guys can see Discoveries label Sauv Blanc. So we're going to be tasting this one with it. And this is a little bit sweeter of a wine anyway. So I'm curious to see how this pairs. Because I actually would never have thought to serve this with it. Don't worry, these wines will not go to waste. Don't worry. Don't you guys worry your pretty little heads off about that.
It'll be 5 o'clock sooner or later.
Okay, so remember, you're gonna smell the wine first, take a sip. You want to taste the wine on its own. It's a very mild, this is a very mild Sauv Blanc.
When you smell, you should stick your nose way in the glass, right?
Yeah, you wanted to. Oh, wow. That smells like grapes on the vine, doesn't it?
Yeah, fruity.
Okay, so here we go. Tasting.
She's ahead of us.
Wow, okay, this is a good pairing as well. I don't know if it's as good as the Chardonnay. What do you guys think? It's even sweeter if that's possible.
It is.
It's even
Yeah.
sweeter. So yeah, this, still good, but it's not as, I don't think any of the Chardonnay's
That
better.
brought out that white grape taste.
Yeah, it's really, it's like it's like eating a warm berry on a,
Right.
warm grape off the vine when you pick it and they're warm. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. Come to Napa and you will. But yeah, it's that's definitely really good. Try not to waste all your time, but I could sit here drinking all day. We're gonna go to the next glasses, which if you guys notice, we are pairing our wines in the proper glasses. It does make a difference. A lot of people don't think that it's any difference, but the way that it opens, the way that it helps the wine, kind of the palate of the wine develop, it makes a huge difference. So we have a Zinfandel and a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is always my go-to. I love Pinot Noir. It's always my go-to for anything that's more sweeter like this. It's kind of, the Zinfandel is going to be a newbie, but I'm going to pour this. This is the Nile Eddy. This is the last of this sad batch. Sadly, his next label's coming up though. The wine isn't quite ready yet, and it has to be ready. We don't mess around.
If it's half as good as that one, it's gonna be delicious.
Oh, it will. It will, trust me. Okay. So now we're gonna pair it with this Pinot Noir. So just do a little swirly swirl. I can smell more of the earth in this one. It's like a little bit
Smell
more
earth.
earthy.
I smell heaven.
Okay. you ready?
Heaven on earth.
Man, the berry, there's a berry finish to this one.
Yeah.
Like a big berry, that's really
Yeah.
good.
Very
Okay.
and a little spice.
Mhm. Tones down the berry. a little
Yeah, it
bit.
enhances the oak's taste, I was gonna say.
The oak.
Kind of makes it a little bit richer, a little more oaky. What do you get? Same thing or?
Now I get the earthy taste that you were talking about, or probably a little oaky,
Mhm.
earthy. But the taste of the soup changed a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I didn't notice the cinnamon or nutmeg as much this time.
Right.
With the Chardonnay, it was very distinct.
Mhm.
With this, it's like very minimal. You wouldn't even know it was in there, I think.
Yeah, it tasted more
Yeah,
squash or pumpkin or.
yeah, it's more of that earthy pumpkin. One more try here,
Or
guys.
peppers, that's what I tasted. Sweet pepper.
Oh, the bell peppers.
Yeah, it's definitely has more of that earthy, natural taste, but it's super good though.
Mhm.
Don't get it twisted. It's delicious. And if it was up to me, I'd finish this glass. But it's only 10:30 in the morning, so.
Wine and soup for breakfast. Yay.
We have to dump the Nile Eddy Pinot Noir. Oh, okay, dump.
I'll dump it in line.
No.
You're gonna finish it? All right, we're gonna pair now with one of our newer wines, which is the Adele Antonio,
Mm.
and it is the Zinfandel. This is our first Zin that we've ever had in the company. Because it's really to us, to Rory and I, and Peter as well, because this is his mother. We want to make sure that the grapes are from Napa and Sonoma. We also want to make sure that they are good quality. We don't just want to have, just any quality. We really want to have the better quality.
Did you show that label too?
I did, but you can put it up there
Oh.
closer. You guys see that label?
What a beautiful label. Wow.
It's a little mystery and intrigue, just like Adele is.
Adele.
Yeah.
Just like Miss Adele, yep. This one smells a little sweeter to me.
Mhm.
I smell more of the vine than the earth in this one. What do you guys smell? Same?
Yeah.
Same but different?
Same.
The
Different.
green, the greenery, the
Yeah,
leaf. the
That's why
leaf
it's
of
more of the vine,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's a lovely wine, if I do say so myself.
That's good.
Oh, my.
Okay, let's pair this one.
I'm gonna go after a carrot and a red pepper.
Wow, what a phenomenal pairing. This is the surprise for me.
Hmm.
Wow, one more sip. It's sweeter for sure. It's
Yeah.
definitely sweeter. It's so amazing how much the wine changes with that. So when I'm taking a bite, I have still some in my mouth when I'm taking a sip. You want them to meld together.
Mhm. Yeah.
And what do you
It
think?
gave that pepper and onion a creamier, buttery taste almost. That
Yeah.
It just got sweeter and covered that pepper and onion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It calmed the peppers down a little bit.
yeah. So what is your guys' takeaway for this, of the 4 wines that we tasted? I know you have
You know all the
you're
bias.
partial. You're partial. He's partial to the Nialetti. Nialetti is.
I think I'm more partial to the reds with that. And both of those were perfect with that pumpkin soup.
You preferred the reds?
I think so.
How
I
about you?
like the reds with the soup, but I pleasantly was surprised with the Sauv Blanc.
Yeah, you were?
Yeah, I
That was
like
yours?
one.
My takeaway was the Chardonnay because
Mm.
I am not, that's not like my go-to drink, but I really enjoyed that with the pumpkin soup. I would definitely recommend that with pumpkin pie for sure.
Oh,
Pumpkin
yeah.
cookies, pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, definitely recommend it. You have 3 different people here, guys, tasting the same exact wines with the same exact recipe. You see the differences of opinion that you're getting, which is great. This is what wine is a conversation piece. It's a starting out, it's a jumping off point. And it's so much fun. Now, you guys, I'm never going to have this More Than You Chardonnay again without remembering this experience. That's what wine is. It makes you remember all that. So it's really, really important that you guys know that when you're having these tastings, you're having an enjoyable experience with wine, people are going to remember that. They're going to go back to that taste. They're going to smell that smell and remember that fun time they had. And even if they don't buy immediately, hopefully they'll remember it and have enjoyed it enough that they're going to want to come back. So,
I'll remember that wine, but you're right, the Chardonnay didn't make a difference because it's not my go-to either. But I will also remember my first pumpkin soup was with you and that Chardonnay. So good luck anybody else making a pumpkin soup comparing to that.
thanks, Niall. Yeah, I just basically wanted to share with you guys just different ways. This is a super easy recipe, you guys, and it's also fun. Just let me give you some ideas as well here since we're here in my kitchen. I'm opening my kitchen up to all of you. I would also serve this in little pumpkins, like if you could just get the pumpkin, cut the top off, and then I would olive oil the inside and maybe bake it for just a couple of minutes and then put the soup in there or serve it like that, with a little top. It's just a great conversation piece as well. Because I can talk about food and wine pairing all day long, and I have. I just very passionate about it. I love to cook, I love to bake, and I love wine. So they pair very easily together. Also, the thing to know is that a wine is a digestive. It helps you to digest your food, and it helps you to, it helps it to taste better and feel better. It helps break it down for you so that your stomach isn't working as hard, right? And a lot of people will say that they have, they get headaches or whatever. It's because it's the way that the wine is processed. It hasn't been done through a clean process. Ours has been. Ours has all been done through a clean process. So it's super, super refreshing. So anyway, I don't know, Linda, if I'm too, I was trying to be quick. I was trying to be quick, but I can keep going if you want. But
That
like
was phenomenal right there. You only done 15 minutes, girl. You were fast.
I was trying, next time I'll go to have more recipes to pair, but yeah.
That's great.
There's something I heard Rory say a few years ago, Tanya. I'll take some of that time if you want.
Okay.
And he talked about how we went through prohibition and we lost all of the understanding and knowledge of fine wine and education. And it's good for your brain. It's good for your cardiovascular system. It's good for your digestive system, like you just talked about. And we lost all of that knowledge and education, but that's coming back. And everywhere I go now, everywhere I look, when I first heard wine has surpassed beer sales, I thought, nah, come on, no way. And then I went to a football game and I walked near the concession stand. I seen wine for sale at the football game, and every hockey game, and every baseball game, and every basketball game, and every race car track, and it's everywhere now. And I feel with that education coming back, there are companies who have been around a little bit longer than Wine Ambassador has, but yet we're still leading the charge because of what we do as a team, the marketing ability that we have, and keep owning the keyword searching and the SEO and everything that we're doing, we're if not number one, a huge part of that resurgence of the education and the knowledge and the love of wine. I'm pretty proud to be a part of that.
Me as well. Yeah, you guys, that's the thing that's so interesting to know is that prohibition in America is what caused the lack of wine knowledge here. And so people didn't understand the importance or the value of it. And it really, like Rory calls this liquid art in a glass. It's because it is. A lot of love and time and passion has gone into the wine. And that's really important to know that. And not only that from that perspective, but also then when Rory and I step in to make sure it's done right and it's bottled right and everything, even corked right. A lot of love and passion has gone into that as well. So we really are we're very proud of our wines that we have, and they are true Napa and Sonoma fine wines. They really are. And as you educate yourself and you experience these, I think you guys will grow to understand the difference between this and lower quality wines. And I think you guys will really enjoy them. I really hope so. We put a lot of love into this. But yeah, with prohibition though, another thing I wanted to say is that kicked off the era of cocktails. That's what cocktails came from in the US, because we had to hide the terrible taste of that moonshine, and because people didn't want to stop drinking. There's just something to it. It's on medicinal purposes as well. There's just something to it, but this is a healthier option by far for you. If you're going to drink, wine is the most healthy option you can have, especially a red wine with all the nutrients and things in there. And Linda kicked on a little bit of that in her training and talking about that, the education of and how much that it gave nutrition to people who couldn't have it. They would drink it for nutrition as well. So it's just super important. And so I recommend it anybody at the end of a hard day and you want to kind of relax, a glass of wine is definitely where you should go. It's where it is. But anyway, now that the prohibition, once it got over and we had destroyed all these wine bottles, we realized that what we had done, and now it's coming back, and education slowly coming back. But it really made people have that love for the cocktail, which isn't a bad thing. We still have a few things coming from Wine Ambassador that will be part of that coming soon. But the wine is where always my heart and passion will be. It's just, I have memories of opening certain kinds of varietals and drinking them with my Nona and Papa. My Nona and Nona, I just love that. I can remember those stories. I remember having the sparkling on my kids' wedding anniversary, excuse me, not their anniversaries, but their weddings, at the birth of my grandchildren, and celebrating it with a glass of wine with them. And then it's just like having a friend here. And I have Niall Eddy in my house, but when I drink his wine, it's like he's here. And it's the same thing with the Donna Walker and now the Deanna Young. It's that way for us. So anyway, it's an experience. It's meant to be shared. So take away from this experience, since I'm going to keep talking about wine because y'all know I can. I'm going to challenge you guys to do this, to have a little tasting on Halloween. Do a pumpkin soup or something similar, but do more than that. Try them with pumpkin cookies. We have some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. We should have done a tasting with that.
Ooh, I volunteer.
Oh, I have to come back downstairs if you're going to taste with the pumpkin chocolate chip cookie.
Well, come, because you know what, we have extra time. I didn't realize we have some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies here, but taste it with that.
Gotta go, guys.
Yeah, taste it with the pumpkin pie, whatever you guys want. Taste it with. Right now, it's like pumpkin spice season. It's like pumpkin spice threw up everywhere, right? So let's enjoy that and pair that. Again, my preference would be the Chardonnay. Dina loved the Sauv Blanc and Niall loved the Pinot Noir. So again, there's three different people, three different palettes, but we all did like them. We didn't think one was bad, right?
The Zinfandel was great too, though.
Yeah, the Zin was great as well. I'm going to move y'all. Just sorry to shake you. We're just going to
They
move
were
you a
all
little
good
bit.
and all great.
We have some,
You know,
she's
when
warming up the pumpkin cookies because she's had just a few seconds in the microwave. It's killer.
when I was growing up, we didn't have fine wines on the table at grandma's house. We used the one in the wicker basket, you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have that too.
So I didn't like reds. That's why I was always a Pinot Grigio guy. They're like the sweeter,
The sweeter one.
the white wines. And then once I learned about fine wines and the difference of why that red, a lot of those reds were not tasty good, because I didn't like grandma's in the wicker basket. But I tried other reds along the way, and none of the reds appealed to me until I learned the difference of why those reds were upsetting my belly. And
Yeah.
but now
So
that
try, you guys, try them and try different ways. You'll see as we go into a little bit heavier reds here in the next few weeks too. You'll see different ways that we serve it and pair it. So please don't miss these, you guys, because I'm really trying to educate you guys so you know what you can share and all that. There's the pumpkin chocolate chip cookie there.
Pumpkin chocolate chip
Warm,
cookie.
warm.
All right, you guys
Have a
ready?
pinch.
Wait, what should we try it with first? The Chardonnay? Want to start back with the Chardonnay?
Yes,
Okay, I'm starting back at the Chardonnay, the more the muse.
decisions.
These are my favorite. Oops, sorry.
We need
A little
less in
much.
the glass though.
Sorry, my bad. Let me take a little in this one. I start pouring wine and get carried away. Anyway, okay, there we go.
Right.
Okay, a little pinch here. Oh, that is nice and warm.
Oh, they're so good.
Okay, here we go.
Chardonnay. Oops. What half of that?
Okay. All right.
Mm,
This is
pumpkin.
still, I think it was actually sweeter with the pumpkin soup to me. Or do you guys find it sweeter?
No, not sharp. That's like the chocolate. I think the chocolate's making a difference.
The chocolate
Yeah.
calms it down.
You think I think it was,
It's
tasted-
sharper.
it's sharper to me with the cookie than it is with the pumpkin soup. I don't know why. But that's my takeaway.
Mm,
You ready?
Okay.
Next varietal.
Right.
That's yours. Want to pour now? We're gonna do the
The
Sauv
Sauv Blanc.
What's this one's core? It's not core.
You know that.
This is just we're just trying to do a tasting. These are gonna be
Just a normal Saturday morning.
I'm
Yeah.
putting less in the glass
And
because
how-
I hate the dump
I
part.
know.
Right.
Okay, let me take a little bit of cookie. I got some chocolate too this time. That is a dang good wine though.
Mhm.
That one's the winner for me over the other one.
Mm.
Two enthusiastic thumbs up on the Sauv Blanc. What do you guys think?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a
Okay,
good one.
I'm sorry, Adele, I'm pouring you out.
Okay. On to the red.
That
We
one.
must go.
Want to rinse those? We're gonna go to the Nile Eddy. I'm just doing a tad here because we don't want to waste it. We'll drink this later with dinner, not all of it, but we'll drink it later with dinner. Just gonna do a little bit, so we, Nile Eddy again. Okay, here we go. Oh, as I spill, okay,
Do that.
I've just got a tiniest bit.
Oh, there's heaven again.
Smells like heaven.
Heaven on earth.
Heaven in your glass. Okay, I got it.
Wow.
Pinch.
Never too early for that. Pinch a cookie. Mm.
Yeah, I could drink that all night long. With that cookie,
Or all day.
it brings out the cinnamon to me in the cookie.
Oh, yeah.
This like
Yep.
cinnamon nutmeg, I could definitely brings that out more. It's stronger.
Wow.
Yep, I felt that and the chocolate.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
goodness.
They have the-
We have to,
Adele.
we have to dump, guys, because we have to work the rest of the day. So we have to dump. Now we're going on to the Zinfandel. This is the Adele.
I got a funny feeling that dessert with that cookie
You think it's gonna be good?
was gonna be heavenly.
Really? I don't know. Right now, to me, oops, as I'm spilling the wine, it's travesty over here. Is the Nile Eddy is the winner so far for me. Okay, a little more pinch.
And this is the Adele. Mm.
It makes it stronger, the tannins in this one. I can taste more tannins.
Yeah.
It definitely brings out the spice, like ginger. I can taste
Mhm.
ginger.
Mhm. That cookie.
Yeah, I can taste the ginger for sure.
But it made that zip, the chocolate or something in there made that zip a little sharp.
Yeah, it
It's
definitely
not
did.
sharp. So
Anyway,
that should have, that, you're right, the Pinot Noir won.
the Pinot Noir is the winner for me. You too? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But you guys have a party and taste it. Have people try this and there's no wrong answer. It's just whatever people likes is their palate. So it just makes it fun.
What a terrible life we have.
I know, right? This is the work we get to do. So when y'all are holding your wine tasting, that's the work you get to do. So anyway, I think we're gonna end it here. Just I want you guys to take this recipe, take this idea. Let me know on the Tuesday call for the student call, who did this. I want to see pictures. I want to see you guys. So let me know. Tag me if you put it on Facebook. And my name is Tanya Rickard, in case you didn't know. Tag me because I want to see. I want to see what you guys do. I'm excited for that. Next Saturday, we're going to be doing appetizers, different appetizers for the holidays. So we'll be pairing a bunch of more wine than that. And so get your game face on, guys, because we're gonna have lots of fun. So anyway, you guys, from my family to yours, we love you. God bless. And bye for now.
Right.